Queen Kufra. She was going back into the game. There was one game earlier in the season where it was Master Olben carrying BREN Esports with a beautiful Franco game. He has to step up here today, or continue stepping up to face off against the playoffs mode Mamba in Chaknu.
Yeah, and here we are jumping into the draft for game number 1. You can already see the bands coming out here. Smart Omega takes out the Akai, the Fanny. We'll see what the last one's going to be for them in the first phase, while BREN does take out that Grok and the Wan. So, you know, honestly, I still see a highly contested hero, at least in terms for Smart Omega, is going to possibly be that Paquito,
yes,
right? Which is very, very flexible. We've seen him pop up constantly, especially towards the end of the regular season. So that's going to definitely be up to grabs. Renmar, what else do you see being up for grabs here on the swing back for BREN after that first pick?
Well, for BREN Esports, their tendency in the first phase is to just really secure their heroes for a gold XP and the mid lane. That's usually the tendency that they have. Usually the picks for Kyle TZ and Ogwen are more of the flexible kind. They switch their drafts around, but most likely their gold laner will be going to the first phase. Farsa was a great pick in the earlier series. I see BREN Esports picking up Farsa. I see BREN Esports also not being shy with picking up Melissa early on. That's one of their first 2 picks on the red side. For Omega's first pick here, I'd really like to see them contest the Julian. If I'm Omega here, I would be a little bit more cautious with giving the Julian up to either Few or Kyle TZ. Again, early game aggression for BREN Esports. Few on the Julian empowers that.
Yeah, not only that, but you know, that's the other question, right? So Faramis is still open. They did take out that Valentina for the last man for BREN here, so that leaves the option for Smart Omega, but we'll see what they weigh that out with. It's going to actually be Claude.
Ooh.
So
they don't care.
They don't care, right? I mean, going back to your points here, we'll see what BREN locks in, but also, could we possibly see a Few has loved the Kadita, right?
Yeah,
that is
and
true.
that could possibly come out to play here in even game 1 or throughout this series. But already seeing that Claude, we'll have to see what they're thinking about.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there you go. Early on the Claude, early focus.
There it is.
You had the opening to go for the Faramis, you miss out. You don't care. You go for BREN Esports, pause for Faramis, they don't care as well. They still go for what they know it's going to work. The Paquito and the Kadita is so good, and then Paquito's just gonna get picked either first pick or on the second pick for sure in this whole tournament. I swear.
Yeah, he is first phase pick material.
Yeah.
Until he gets nerfed.
Yeah, until he gets nerfed, but I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. But before then, yeah, Paquito early on, and this allows BREN Esports to check that key to victory of early game aggression. The faster the better. Pick off capabilities as the Paquito, as the Kadita can really throw off Omega. And I think Omega, what they were trying to do here is first picking the Claude, of course, you get your comforts. That's always been the smart Omega drafting philosophy in the first phase. Get the comfort picks as much as possible. I won't be surprised if Amasha shows up here even, but nope, it's going to be the Atlas and the Faramis. They're going for the big wombo combo setups that in the mid game will spike, but Omega has already shown this is more of a mid-game lineup. BREN Esports has a little bit more early game prowess in them.
Not only that early game prowess, but now you have to have an answer for the Cult Altar, right? They've already got quite a bit of damage with the Kadita and the Paquito. I'm wondering if they will lock in their gold lane now, possibly an Irithyll if they want to go that route. But at the same time, if you are going to be going with that key to victory where you want to just, you know, go hard, go fast, and end things as early as possible, then overloading on the damage could end up hurting you later on. Especially, I know Rockhard already mentioned this, the Omega timers really aren't that a thing as much anymore, but it could still possibly happen. So there you go. It's not going to be an Irithyll. They lock in a very popular pick lately, Melissa.
Yeah, not going to risk it. I like that they don't risk it, and I like that they have at least an answer. Because you know these Frey from Omega, that Claw, that... You know they're always going to group up, right? Especially after 15 minutes. These three, the Atlas, the Claude, and the Faramis, they're going to go fight, fight, fight. Every time we're on cooldown, we fight, we fight. I love that they have this. That stops a little bit of the BMI, and it also kind of just slows down the approach of the Atlas.
Yeah, the ultimate of the Melissa, go away, gives BREN Esports a little bit more breathing room when things don't go their way in the team fights. Or actually looking at the lineups for Omega and BREN, it's like they're just going to be fighting in the ocean. You know, they have the Atlas Claw Therapist. They're just going to be diving, man. It's just dives everywhere. BREN Esports has a Kadita. So with that Melissa pick, BREN Esports has the ability to counter that. A good ban here on the Balmond. So this leaves a Ryzen with either picking up something like Karina. BREN Esports might ban that. But if that's too divey for Omega, they can also even go, well, Ling is also pretty divey. So Ling might look good to help with the map control. I'm looking at Ling, Karina, maybe even a Baksha pickup here for Ryzen later on in the draft.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. But I also want to bring up the point, you know, for XP lane specifically, right? We're assuming that the Paquito is going in the hands of Kyle Teasy into the jungle, right?
Yes.
Let's assume that. Now, two XP laners that have really popped up lately. The Yuzhong, that's actually been a huge threat for a lot of teams, right? That is available there. They do ban out the Dyroth here. Also, I was going to say Phoveus, but it's actually, you know, BREN that is going to ban that out. So, I mean, in XP lane-wise, Renmar, what are you feeling BREN wants to take here?
They can. I wouldn't mind them picking up something like the Masha just to be a very annoying presence. Omega, if BREN Esports ended up picking up something like the Esmeralda, it'd be okay because Omega took out the Dyroth anyway. But if Omega ban out the Esmeralda, well, the Uranus is still there. Uranus and Masha is what I'm looking out here for BREN Esports. But I still do like the idea of that Paquito potentially going the XP lane instead for Pandora, and then BREN Esports will swerve their draft and pick up a different jungler.
Julian, maybe.
Yeah, Julian's still available. It's still, no team has banned it out. So I think that's why Omega are really taking their sweet time with this ban, because now they know there's still a lot of options available right now for BREN.
You know why I'm thinking that? Because all the time, most of the time, I've seen BREN pick up a Kadita. You know, that knockup, right? Breath of the Ocean. They always have someone that also does a knockup normally.
Yeah.
AoE knockup whenever possible.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because when I was studying RSG games, one of the banes to RSG's existence is going up against a team that have multiple crowd control options. Omega, well, they don't play exactly like RSG, but they're very similar. Group up together. So Omega, they take away the Fredrin. Julian actually might look good for BREN, but that was a Matilda pick right away.
Bro, that's a very squishy lineup that BREN's having right now. I don't know about this.
That's my point, right? It is a key to victory, but yeah, this is the best time to try something, right? And if you want to go with a plan of just, again, trying to end it as fast as possible, overloading on that damage, the mobility that you have now too, it could end up working out for them. Again, but you're going against a team like Smart Omega here, and this also is really rounding out Smart Omega's draft, right? They get the Esmeralda. That is why they banned out the Dyroth. And so, I mean, even if just looking at these four heroes alone for Smart Omega, it's quite solid of a lineup, right? So there's the last pick too. It looked like it was the Karina, like you mentioned, Renmar. So looking pretty good for Smart.
Julian is still available. That'll be able to match in speed.
Yeah.
Barrett's might be, it's good in team fights, but the Karina might just be able to get around the map faster, but maybe that's why BREN Esports picked up something like the Matilda. If they're going to be picking up a jungle Barrett's, put that Paquito in the XP lane. So, yeah, a lot of room of flexibility still for BREN. Are you going to put that Paquito in the jungle or put that in the XP and then just surprise with your last pick in the jungle?
At the very least, BREN Esports' lineup excels in speed right now.
Yeah.
So I guess they were kind of listening to Midnight a little bit here. It can go fast. These guys can kill hard. And there goes the Barris that Renmar was talking about. It does kind of round out this lineup, albeit still a little squishy, but they have more survivability this time compared to how it was earlier. And on the Omega side, almost all of their damage are in that Claw.
Yep.
So maybe that's something that BREN can attack there, and maybe they can win those fights.
Again, that's why I like the Paquito first pick so much, whether you're on the blue side or the red side, because it allows you that flex choice.
Yes.
So, you know, let's take one last look at the lineups. Again, the crowd is hype as hell. They're ready to watch these two teams battle it out, slug it out. And I gotta say, I can't wait to watch this one unfold as we load up into the land of Dawn here. Ladies and gentlemen, you can hear it. You can type it in the chat. Either One Shot or Omega or BREN Lang Malakas, because that's what they're after again here. And this is gonna definitely be an amazing series ahead of us.
Yeah, right now, I think the audience is, you can say audience lang malakas.
Yeah, for sure.
The volume, the energy of this crowd is crazy.
Loading up on the game number 1 here for BREN Esports and Omega. Loser of the series will be exiting the playoffs. This is the lower bracket, ladies and gents.
Okay, so now we can see the lay of the land here, right? Smart Omega, they've got, hey, they have the tools they need in terms of spells to counter around a lot of the CC that's going to be thrown at them, right? I mean, they're playing with 3 Purifies here. Also, looking at the, let's look at the rotations for the junglers starting out. There's already going to be a lot of focus here to see if they can counter into this purple.
Hard presence. That's 4 people right now for Omega fighting around. We got backup coming in form of Pandora, but looks like that will be enough to push back the Omega pressure.
Yeah, just a little bit of skirmish there by the Litho Wanderer. Both junglers started out getting their respective orange buffs. But we're going to be seeing KyleTzy check out the jungle of Smart Omega. He's not going to see anything there, so there's information that they are going to be closer to the purple side now. BREN Esports, they're just going to take their sweet time here, but Ogwen needs to be careful because, of course, Ogwen on the Matilda, he'll be the one wanting to check into the jungle of Smart Omega, but Smart Omega have the right tools to punish a unexpected entry into the jungle, into their jungle from Ogwen. So Ogwen needs to respect that counter punish possibility.
So here's the question, right? I mean, in terms of what BREN Esports has drafted here, how do they play around? How do they counter the Cult Altar that's going to be thrown at them? Atop of everything else, I mean, even having Chaknu on, you know, having those Fatal Links available to them. What's the best case scenario for BREN in terms of those objective fights later on, Renmar?
You know what's funny? I've actually been thinking about that as well.
Yeah.
Just the intro. Just kill the Faramis first.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
if you want to stop Omega.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Kill the Faramis first or force him to pop that Cult Altar off early. Now Smart Omega, I don't think they'll be able to contest this turtle, but let's see if they will try.
Yeah, it's only Chaknu. He's quite low. Here comes the Stampede. Ryzen with a steal on the turtle. And maybe from here, Omega wants to go for a fight. They do have enough health. And there it goes. The Fatal Links. They're fighting back, though. BREN's got some damage, but it is fading very, very quickly. Pandora's a little late to the party here. Ryzen not going to be able to take it out here. And that's 2 going down again. What a bloodbath here. Beautiful plays here from Omega overall, and it did get the turtle as well.
That's a dream start for Omega. Split 2-2, and Ryzen was like, what do you mean I'm not going to contest it? I'm going to not get my orange. I'm not going to get my orange buff first. I'm going to go run for the turtle right away. And that was just swift hands by the smooth criminal. Ryzen taking that turtle right away under the nose of BREN Esports. They were positioned well, BREN. KyleTzy was in a very comfortable spot. He's a Barretts. He could just pop off his ultimate, not get controlled. It's easy access for him, but then somehow Ryzen just came in, take it away.
They bypassed the Barretts there, right?
Yeah, literally. And I mean, not only that, but those 2 kills went over to Renzio, right? So that's going to make that lane a lot easier for him in terms of going against Pandora. They could be looking for another thing here in the mid. They're not going to get it.
Oh, no, View.
Oh my god, the rough waves able to get out in time, but nope, that is a Karina. You cannot really run away from that easily.
With that punish there, I was actually thinking Few would be getting out of that wave, but I think he was attempting to use his ultimate to maybe burst Ryzen enough. It's not going to be an instant kill, but it will get something down. That potential gamble there for Few not going well for the mid laner of BREN Esports.
Yeah, you remember what I said? Omega wants to fight over and over and over again, and they're doing just that. KyleTzy, no backup available yet. Super Marco's damage is actually quite low, and BREN Esports just looking. They're grasping for straws here in the fight.
Man, that dinosaur just tried to eat a ghost and it didn't work.
You can't eat ghosts, right?
You can't eat the ghost.
And I mean, this is what we expected between these 2 teams already, right? But Smart Omega already building a nice, comfortable gold lead. Now, the one thing, too, about BREN Esports, I'm surprised they don't have any Purifies on their side, right?
Yeah.
Going against Atlas, especially. So now, next turtle of the game is going to be up here. Smart Omega looking to make another play, possibly.
Yeah, it was funny, because if you look at the lineup, it's Omega that has the Purifies.
Yeah.
And they have the Atlas, so what's up here?
3 Purifies. On the side of Omega, BREN Esports, yeah, that's going to come back to bite them. And actually, he's already biting them as Smart Omega gets that turtle, because with BREN Esports pickoffs being very crowd control based, Smart Omega just pops off 1 Purify, and BREN Esports might lose the opportunity to get the pickoffs that they're looking for.
And pickoffs are becoming harder because, again, Kelra keeps getting that turtle shielding.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
And right now, BREN Esports, that's something that they're going to have to adjust. They're going to need to look to add more pressure into the lane of Kelra, because right now, the gold laners are having the time of their lives, just being able to freely farm, are relatively undisturbed. But because of the turtles, because of the assists, Kelra has a small lead over Super Marco.
I mean, not only that, too, but I mean, the the thing about BREN Esports, with Kyle Teasy specifically, whenever I see a Barrett's jungle, it's very slow, right?
It is slow.
And Kyle Teasy made kind of this name for himself in this season, playing those assassins, but hold on, Ogwin gonna get chased down, but disengages here. Going back to the point again, Kyle Teasy, I would love to see him play a little more proactive, those heroes that we saw in the regular season, because right now he's obviously kind of struggling on this Barrett's early on. Already, first turret going down here, about 5 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Turtle going to be up in about half a minute here, but let's take a look at the items here, Redmar, how they're playing around with the gold lead that they have.
Yeah, 800 gold lead here for the gold laner Smart Omega. Kelra already has a Demon Hunter sword. Only the Windtalker built there by the Melissa. Super Marco, I think he's going to be on the way to building a Berserker's Fury as his second item. So once he gets that, that's going to spike up his damage. The BREN Esports, again, because of all the Purifies that Smart Omega has, it's going to be tough for them to get the pickoffs. And right now, Renjo is just bodying Pandora, man.
Isn't this exactly what you mentioned?
This is what I was saying. Yeah.
Right? That
Like,
2-0 led Renzio to just bully Pandora here.
I mean, yes, you have, Few is trying to see if anything can happen, but look at this, Kyle Teasy again in trouble.
Kalti's on the floor, man. And he's just going down as well. Oh my goodness. And right now with the Cold Altar, Omega's just doing everything they want. No one from Break can stop them.
Look at Omega right now. The Matilda roam for Ogwen. Smart Omega are doing everything correctly in terms of shutting him down. The rotations of Ogwen, his positioning is important to the BREN Esports flow of their game, of how they want to play. Smart Omega knew that going into this game. They experienced going up against that and losing to that in their second round in the regular season. Now, having learned from that, Omega are just having the dream start right now in this best-of-5 matchup. Chaknu, every time he sees Ogwen in the jungle and Ryzen's nearby, they're not afraid to throw out ultimates just on that Matilda alone so that BREN Esports wouldn't be able to rotate or respond.
Again, like I said, right, you have 3 Purifies for Smart Omega. With Few, the whole idea here is to either get that stun off, right, and then pop off the damage that you have. But if you're playing against the Purifies, you're not really going to have the opportunity to do that. Now, Renzio, though, is going to be focused down here on the bottom side, but still, he is thick. He's 3-0-0. He's super confident in that lane.
It's also very hard to pop off those Purifies right now, and he did not have that. That is going to be Ryzen getting stunned up. Oh my god, though, Kyle Teasy, no more Daytona's welcome. Can he survive? Cold Altar activated by Yatomax. Fire is ensuing. Pandora, he's looking for people to take down, but everyone just goes back to full health because of that Cold Altar. And just like that, BREN is getting bullied under the tower, man.
You hear the crowd. The chest of Omega Chapner going in.
They're diving in as 5 once more. Few with no Gwen around to run, and turret on the mid lane will go down.
E to the max. El Capitan right on the timing with the Cult Altar time and time again. BREN Esports right now look like they've just been shell-shocked. They are going up against playoffs mode Omega. Comfortable in the lower bracket. Backs against our backs against the wall. Omega, BREN Esports need to get their composure because right now, OMG is just steamrolling all over them.
Yeah, this is what I love too about, when you have Etumax on this Feramis, but honestly, any players that play the Feramis and run with this Last Worship emblem, you notice throughout the game, he's able to poke. He's able to do a lot of poke damage, and then that follow-up pairs so well with Ryzen here on this Karina. Kelra's just having a heck of a time just farming up in vacation mode, and now everything's fallen into place for Smart Omega. First Lord of the game comes up, huge item pickup for Kelra, allowing him to do some more, just get in position the way he wants with the Blazing Duet. They might just be able to freely take this Lord, but it looks like BREN might actually want to contest.
Yeah, that's free people for BREN. They are just holding for vision. They see the Lord. Kyle Teasy, will he try something though? This is a big question. Is this going to be a Hail Mary pass for Kyle Teasy? But nope, they're just going to go for info, and the Lord will be conceded over to Smart Omega.
They gotta give that up. This is where BREN Esports find themselves, where in the first Lord, they just had to give it already to Smart Omega because of the massive lead that they built. It's getting close to 7,000 for them. Again, it's just smart rotations, incredible discipline, great individual play. Omega are having the perfect start to this. BREN Esports, they're trying to find, or earlier they tried to find and make the right calls in the right place, but the Cult Altar was the biggest problem.
Chakno, he's just waiting on the bush, just waiting for someone to make a bad move. BREN Esports, at least holding their area. They're not completely invaded yet by Omega, at the very least at this point, which is a massive lead. You're wondering why.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's going to be bad. Gwen not going to be able to even flicker on out of there. Keller takes him down. Colt Alter already preemptively activated here by Omega. And now the Lord, it's a 4v5 with the Lord on mid. It's going to be a very difficult, and very hard defense.
Well, that's only the normal Lord. They should be able to handle it quickly, but look at the damage they're already taking here. They force Etu Max back. So right now, I mean, this is what's expected, but you have to just look at that gold lead. It's massive for Smart Omega. 8.3K. They're going to continue to get these turrets around the map the best they can. And right now, the thing is, what does BREN Esports even do here, Redmar? I mean, Super Marco hasn't seen any action just yet. He's been trying to farm up, but is it enough?
Uncanny right now. Look at this. Shaknu fatal links. He didn't even need to do it. He just wanted to. And that's Pandora going down to the burn.
Rising.
And there's Calteezy. They told us welcome. Canceled once more. Push back in the way to Max. Everyone in Omega is actually quite low, so maybe BREN can do something about this. Again, just not quite having the damage here is BREN Esports chasing anyone, just putting up as much damage as they can. Even Soul Bloom not really hurting as much.
Okay, so we already know what Smart Omega has been doing right. BREN Esports, though, gave us a glimpse of a potential turnaround, or what they can, or what a BREN Esports potential turnaround will look like. Extended team fights for BREN Esports once they can finally catch up in the gold. When they get maybe around to the 36 to 42,000 gold mark, that's when we'll see them being able to take it to Omega in extended team fights. If they can't get a member of BREN Esports, a key member of BREN Esports down right away, they're gonna feel that pain. Omega, however, they still do have that lead. They are still in control here, so it will take a lot for them to make a mistake for BREN Esports to find an opportunity to turn it around. But don't get me wrong, Omega needs to understand that it is there. The potential for a turnaround is there, as Kadita's items are being built up and a Wind of Nature is already available for the Melissa on BREN.
Got to work on that pain.
I think this is the big thing, right? For BREN Esports, you got to take a look at Super Marco, right? He did manage to get a kill, which is great. He does have the items that he needs, but what he's lacking is the mobility, right? It's hard to stay alive for this Melissa if your ult is down and everything else, and so you have to take care of him. But it looks like Chaknu might be going in.
Yep, and because of this, they're pushing back BREN Esports. They're clearing up those bushes to go and see if they can maybe win this Lord Dance. So right now, and just sharks in the water here.
Great positioning right now by Omega, but BREN Esports have a good chance to potentially Retribution this away themselves, but there's still an ultimate on the side of Omega.
Oh, that's huge. Calteezy, Daytona's welcome will go in, but he's actually quite low. And if he dies, that's going to be Retribution out of the picture. Colt Alter is going to be activated here once more, and it's a very happy Omega taking these fights. Right now, everyone on BREN is also very low. Renzio is zoning out, boxing out two members of BREN here, and it will be Omega with a free Lord take.
Smart OMG. BREN Esports right now, we're starting to see one of the problems with their draft. When Calteezy needs to stay close to the objectives, when he needs to be in Retribution range, because of the lead Omega has, no one on the side of BREN Esports can actually join him. So he's left alone. Even with the Detonus welcome up, even though he was getting regen, the lead of Omega is so massive that BREN Esports don't have an opening for their jungler.
Oh, look at this. Omega, they don't seem to wait. They want to wait.
I mean, you pretty much pointed it out, Renmar, right? And this is why I see usually when those Barrett jungles are picked in.
Oh, Pandora once more just at the edge of the fatal links gets taken out.
Going back to the point when Barrett's is locked in, man, does it struggle if you don't have any follow-up.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there looking to eat up a target, and then eventually you die yourself. So again, Calteezy struggling on this pick here. The entirety of BREN now has to be able to defend without Pandora. In just about 14 seconds, he should be up. Can they do it?
Big questions here being put out by Naisu. It's going to be Keller working on that turret on the bottom side. Easily taken out, no defense. And BREN, I guess they're just focusing on just not dying right now. But Renzio, beautiful falling star moon straight at the back. But right now, Pandora actually is going to be back on the field. Maybe he can make something happen here. Where is Ref the Ocean? Will it be popped off properly, though? That's turret on top side taken out. Calteezy, again, quite quite low. Can they do anything?
Oh,
Backside is Renzo. This guy's going for MVP, brother. It's Cold Ultra activated, and that's going to be Omega taking the fight straight into base, but that's going to be Few holding out. Everyone
holding
on,
on,
they're low.
running low.
Flicker out, not going to work, and that will be game 1 going over to Omega.